Alright guys, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Riley Shower. I am so excited to be here. It has been a long time since I have done a video and I thought I would show you my makeup. I am finishing up a bunch of products because one of the things for the new year that goes with this video is that my husband and I have spent the last several years transitioning into a non-toxic lifestyle. And one of the last things, just because it's really expensive, is the makeup. Skincare, makeup, those kinds of products. So our hand wash, like basically everything besides Riley's stuff. I had so much makeup. Who's shocked? um stored up that we felt called to do a non-toxic lifestyle, and yet I didn't want to throw out cleaning supplies that we already had, makeup I already had, skincare. I wanted to balance a non-toxic transition with a low waste way to do it. So, as we've over the last few years just been running out of cleaning supplies as we use them up, we replace them with a non toxic option. And now it's time for the makeup because I am down to the bare bones of makeup collection. Um, yeah, uh, I would love more makeup, but I'm trying to get rid of all of this, and I am at the very, very end. So I'm going to show you and put below all the items that I've purchased, because if they are still around, that means that they are great quality, probably repurchased. I've been trying to not buy new makeup except for mascaras. Mascaras run out every 3 months. Sometimes you can get one that still stays good quality for like 3 to 6 months, but you really need to be rotating your mascaras pretty darn quickly, just for the health of your eyes. Right, I do not want any old product going anywhere near my eye, especially mascara. I wear it, I have a mirror over here. I wear a lot of it, I wear it really thick. I get really close to the base of my eye. It needs to be new. So yeah, I'm gonna go through, I've done quite a bit of my makeup and then gonna finish off with some products with you guys while I catch you up and tell you about this channel, but also my new podcast because I started my podcast. I had this idea in 2018, y'all. Um, and I finally had the guts to start it, honestly. So my podcast is called What the Heaven, and it is a faith-based podcast for Christian women who are going through difficult seasons of life. And I'm going to explain, I chose that topic for a very specific reason. But let's go through the makeup products real fast so that I can be doing my makeup while I chat with you, give you an update and all that stuff. So, again, very bare bottom, I am finishing up. Look at how little product is left. The Milani Make It Last Original. It's just a setting spray. I tend to spray it before and after makeup, because it'll set the base layer. And so I really like it. It is a wonderful dupe for some way more expensive options. But like I said, everything I'm mentioning, while I do love it, everything I'm mentioning has toxins. This is not good quality makeup. Even if it's a more expensive brand, like my primer, I am using, it's a travel size, but it's a travel size of the Smashbox Photo Finish. It's literally silicone. Like, there is plastic. Whoop, that I just accidentally threw. That is going on my skin. So, moving into non-toxic, I will not be doing that again. Thinking about what I put on my body. But I do love these products. So, I'm going to go through them real quick. Like I said, Milani setting powder or setting spray, I do it before and at the very end of my makeup. Um, then I showed you and then threw accidentally the Smashbox Photo Finish, just a baby trial size. I do have my nails for my New Year's nails, if you know, you know. I always do glitter nails for New Year's. Um, but I love a glitter nail all throughout the year too. Be glittery. Who cares? For my eyebrows, which I already did off camera, I have the E.L.F. Instant Lift Waterproof Brow Pencil in neutral brown. It has a spoolie on one side and the product on the other. I really, really love it. I love a thick A brow. Yeah, sorry. I'll say bad words on YouTube, but not my podcast. Um, I love a thick brow, and I am drawing them in darker because I do have an autoimmune disorder and I lost a bunch of hair over the last few years, and my eyebrows like went away. I am trying to grow them back, and I'm not plucking them or getting them waxed, so they're not really in a great shape. I draw in the shape that I want as best I can, but not great brows right now because I'm trying to grow them back. It's all good. God will redeem it. But E.L.F. eyebrow pencil, my tweezers that I keep and just love are Tweezerman, a limited edition hot pink. Tweezerman tweezers, honestly, they are very expensive. I will be keeping these because they are stainless steel that is non-toxic and I sanitize them regularly. Um, Tweezerman tweezers are at least, when I got them, were $20-$25 each. Now they're probably $25 or $30 each. Still worth it. They are not going dull, and I've had them for years. Mascara is the Essence Call Me Queen Dramatic False Lash Effect waterproof. Honestly, I grabbed this on a whim in Ulta about a month or two ago because I ran out of mascara. Completely toxic. It's literally like $5. And it does great for the eyelashes. I love it. Super chemically. So yeah, the, mascara. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I am transitioning into non-toxic makeup, but having a quality waterproof mascara is do or die for me. Right? Like I could go plain face, but have to have mascara on, or I feel not good. So if you have any recommendations, put it in the comments. I have really been recommended the Thrive Cosmetics mascara, but again, mine have to be waterproof because my eyes are really sensitive. Fun fact. um, what else? Oh, before I put on mascara, I put on a mascara primer, the L'Oreal Voluminous primer. It's okay. I think it really lengthens, so I think it's ironic that it's the voluminous because I notice more of a lengthening effect with this, but whatever, I like it. Again, super chemically, won't be repurchasing. Another primer I have, because I fell for the trend and I love it, is the E.L.F. Jelly Pop Dew Primer in the watermelon scent. It just smells so good, guys. But no, should your makeup have a scent? Why does my face need to smell like watermelon? Think about that. Non-toxic is really, like, logical. No, the base of my face does not need to smell like watermelon, but I do really love the smell. For the primer overall, don't really love it. It's okay. I like the Smashbox one better because it fills in pores, which is more of a problem I have. But then this one I will do on the surrounding outer part of the face because it does make the makeup last longer. So different primers do different things. But again, I'm looking for non-toxic as we move forward. On my lips, I have two. I have E.L.F. in, I don't even remember what these are called. Glow Reviver lip oils. But these feel like a gloss, a really wonderful gloss that's not sticky. So I did the clear one first, and then I put some red on top. It's wonderful. But again, going non-toxic. So these are all the products I'm trying to use up. I have an E.L.F. I love these. I have another one in my purse. The Hydrating Core Lip Shine. This is more of a lipstick with a clear, if you can see like that little darker heart in the center. Um, it's a lipstick on the outer section, and that core heart shape is a lip gloss. So it's very hydrating but gives you a color. Love it, but again, going non-toxic will not be repurchasing. It's weird. So if you don't care about non-toxic, these are all great products that I've repurchased and loved. If you do care, you know, do that with what you will. For concealer, specifically under my eyes, this is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser in the light pink shade, 160. Love this. Super chemically. Will not be repurchasing. The last two things I need to do are powder and eyeliner, because I used the E.L.F. Camo liquid blush in Coral Crush for blush. Love, love, love. So annoying. um, yeah. And for powder, I am using up, I'm actually very excited because this is a E.L.F. Halo Glow container, but in it is the bare minimum, if you can see, like not even halfway filled remainder of the Laura Mercier setting powder, translucent setting powder. So that's really fun. And then I will be putting on Urban Decay Heavy Metal, um, just liquid glitter eyeliner for some fun, because I then have to spend the rest of the day just deep cleaning. Not have to. I get to and want to. But I thought I would do my makeup, catch you guys up, chill out for a second, and then move on to cleaning. I have a Real Techniques sponge. Again, not great. Yeah. So I will be switching to all non-toxic, but I am going to do setting powder. I do this in a crazy way because, like I said, I have a Conair mirror off to the side. My eyes are really watery. So, honestly, the only thing I don't set my, like the T-zone. I don't get oily in the T-zone. My problem is I get oily like I mean, I guess this is the T, like of the T-zone, but like my nose, like I've never in my life had to powder my nose. Like my nose doesn't get oily. But my eyes get so watery. I don't know why, but they are so watery all the time. So I really, like, you saw the amount of powder I put on under my eyes. I really bake still, even in 2025, my under eye concealer, because I want it to fill in any lines that I don't have, because I'm still 16, youth, and I really want it to stay because my eyes are so watery. So I let that, with my um, powder side, I push it and press it in all over. I will now go in and start working on my eyeliner, and then when I'm done with my eyeliner, I will wipe away excess powder with the opposite end of my sponge. So, yeah, I'm very excited to be at the end of this makeup. But welcome to my channel. Sorry that this is so random. So this is, like, if you know me, you know that this is crazy. All of the makeup that I own fits in this little thing. I mean, it's not gonna, like, the drawer's not gonna shut, okay? But it fits in here, okay? Everything I just described to you, and I don't own anything else. This is all the makeup that I currently own. If you know me, you know that this took years to get down to this amount. I like the amount of makeup I've been wearing. It's very fast. I think it makes me look youthful and awake. Um, and that's all I really need in this season of life. Because my husband and I, quick update for you, moved to New England. So it's cool. This time last year, I posted a video. Um, and I love these videos because it's like video diaries for me as I get older, um, of what God's doing in my life. And this time last year, my husband and I were prayerfully considering moving. He had been applying for jobs, though, for months and not hearing anything. Um, or it was really sweet. This is, sorry, wet liquid eyeliner, so you need to let it set and dry a little before closing your eye. Um, he had applied to a lot of jobs in New England, and the vibe of particularly one of the states he was applying to, the vibe was so chill that, like, they were like, "Oh, we'd love to interview you. Just come on down to the store tomorrow." And he's like, we don't live there yet." And they were like, "Oh, well, you know, we don't really do out of state hiring." And he's like, "Okay, then why is your, like, job listed on Indeed? Like, why did I find this on your website um if you're not going to hire online?" So it was really weird. Um but that was not the state we ended up moving to. We ended up moving to Vermont, and he got a wonderful job that he is still in. And yeah, our first year in Vermont, quick update, has just kind of been really, really, really intense. I wanted to move here. We've been praying about moving here. Sorry, have to dry my eyeliner. We've been praying about moving here since summer of 2022. We had moved to a town in Iowa, kind of moved around Iowa. Um, and then both my husband and I have lived on the West Coast as individuals. And we felt like, while we loved the West Coast, it wasn't really for us long term. And then we weren't loving the Midwest. And we talked about, you know, the Southwest, and he started applying for jobs, and there just weren't very many opportunities for him. So, the Lord laid New England on our hearts. Like I said, summer 2022. Sorry, I can still feel that it's wet, and I don't want eyeliner. If you know, you know that if you're wearing eyeliner that does not fully dry, and then you open your eye all the way, you get eyeliner on your lid, and you look like a crazy person, and I kind of don't want that. That's my biggest pet peeve, but I do it all the time. Um, but yeah, so he was applying all over, and Lord put New England on our minds in 2022. And so last school year, my husband started applying, actually, no, in the summer. Woo! Summer 2024. He started applying for jobs in New England, all over New England. We didn't care where we landed. And even though in 2022, the first state of New England that the Lord gave to us was Vermont. Vermont is the top state for education, and I'm in the education field. It is the healthiest state in the United States, and we had been in 2022 that summer really diving into non-toxic living and whole foods and organic and vegan, and um, we just loved that Vermont in the nation of the United States is the number one state for health. It is the number one state for teachers, and their education system is top of this nation. And just a work life balance where everyone here works really hard. There's a lot of hustle, a lot of grind, but there's equal amounts of go on vacation, enjoy your weekend, have hobbies, have fun. Um, but again, healthy fun, right? We're not like we're going hiking and we're skiing and we're biking and walking on Lake Champlain, and it's just really enjoying nature and getting out um, from your house and an office setting, and it's just really beautiful. So we've loved living here, but this year, let me tell you guys, is kicking our butts. I had lots of a resurgence of health issues that I had just honestly been putting a band-aid on for several years. And what I believe happened, we moved here in February of 2025, so almost a year now. And in March, like 5 or 6 weeks of being here, my body blew up with symptoms that I've had on and off for the last like over a decade without any answers, except I had all of those symptoms all at one time, overwhelming me. Um, March and then April, I spent 2 emergency room visits. I, in April, had a day or two of hospital stay, um, where, not to get too graphic, but I needed 24, 24 to 48 hours of constant blood transfusions because of hemorrhaging blood loss that I had experienced for the last 2 months. Um, and like I said, I've had all these symptoms before sporadically throughout my over a decade of health issues, but now I have names for everything. And um, things like Hashimoto's, an autoimmune disorder, and a um, PCOS, a hormonal imbalance, and hypothyroidism, and all of these things. As I was both experiencing the physical symptoms, I was researching the cause, and on top of the physical symptoms I experienced in 2025 that left me unable to work and unable to, I mean, like, do anything really. Um, I was also being struck with the realization that a lot of the health issues that I have, there's a lot of research coming out saying that these are health issues specifically related to childhood trauma. Because all of these health issues that I have um, are an reactive to stress. And when you're a kid, you are not supposed to have a lot of stress. You were supposed to be protected and cared for, and I was not. And even when I was adopted, my body was not respected, and we didn't do healthy things for Riley. Um, I yeah. Um, I internalized the lie that my body wasn't worth being healed. I had to beg my adopted dad. I remember I had tonsillitis. I got my wisdom teeth taken out, and I was struggling with an it was mental health but caused by autoimmune, and I woke up upset after my uh, wisdom teeth were taken out, and I went home, and then the next day, like, the wisdom teeth, yes, were impacted or whatever, like that infection that sometimes you get after you get your wisdom teeth taken out. Not only did I have that, but then on top of that, I had tonsillitis, and my adopted dad refused to take me to the doctor. And I was like, I'm gonna effing kill you. Like, like, everything was swollen. I was in so much pain. And my adopted mom was like, I went back to work after I got my, you know, wisdom teeth pulled. Like, you're being dramatic. And then I got to the doctor and they were like, why didn't you come in sooner? Like, we have antibiotics for this. You need, like, what is happening? And I just internalized that if other people didn't care about my body and my health, then I didn't need to either. Apparently, my body's needs were okay being unmet. And so, what I believe happened when we moved to Vermont is I physically am in a safe location. I am in a safe, healthy marriage. Um, I'm in a good place in my relationship with my Heavenly Father. I am in a safe state that values health and values um, just a healthy, balanced lifestyle. And um, I believe that when we moved here, my body had been suppressing so much for so long that it just couldn't do it anymore. And so I just instantly had all of the symptoms. Um, and in 2025 was really, really overwhelming. This is a year that I'm like, you can go. Like, I am not gonna miss you. Um, but at the same time, um, I am writing a book or a proposal. I want to write a book on just the year 2025 because, yes, this was the most insane, overwhelming year that pushed our physical health. My husband had to work two jobs the entire year because I could not work. I just now, almost a year after moving here, got back into working full time. And even full time, um, I mean, I spent most of the early parts of winter break sick because even subbing just puts a lot of stress on my body, and I uh, hate that. I want to be able to work full time and not have intense reactions of stress. And I will. I'll get there, but right now is not that time. And so 2025 has been really hard on my husband and I's bodies, on our emotional health, on our finances. Medical issues are very expensive, and we had already been dealing with them for several years. And so but I just feel like 2025 was the Lord ripping the band aid to expose all of the areas that He wants to redeem in both my husband and I's combined life, but a lot of mine. I really need to deal with my childhood trauma that I've never ever dealt with. And then, you know, you get married, and when you have one last name, no one asks you about your background anymore. It's been years since I even had to explain being adopted, or like, just there's so much that I've gotten to ignore and suppress. Ignore is not the right word. I've been allowed to suppress for so long, and the Lord is saying, "Okay, I moved you to a really I helped move you to the healthiest state in the United States. So we're going to do health. And you cannot hide anymore. And he ripped the band-aid off of health issues. But now I have names. It's hard to heal something when you don't know what it even is. And I have doctors that are naturopaths and who care about your whole being, which I didn't have in Iowa. I drove I've I we're on a debt-free journey right now because of the medical debt from Iowa, and I was driving across the state of Iowa seeing specialists and um had a cancer diagnosis, and she was so casual, like so casual about it. And I moved here, and in Vermont, they my doctor cares about me getting healthy, not making money off of me seeing her routinely. Um, so I'm very excited. It's 2025 was a painful year, but like my makeup collection, we are at the end of it. And that is these are the last remnants of toxicity, right? Both a physical thing in my husband and I's life and a metaphor. So we are ripping band-aids off. Well, there are no more band-aids to rip off, really. And in 2026, actually, we started this in November because the Lord really, um, the band-aids have been ripped off all year, but he really, really spoke into it in October, saying, "No, I did this for a reason. Stop wallowing. Stop wallowing and start healing." And unfortunately, healing is more painful. It just is. It is better for you in the long run. It's better for me in the long run. But I am looking at 2026 like like a monster in the mirror, knowing if a lot of this if a lot of these physical manifested health issues stem from childhood trauma that I've admittedly never addressed in my entire life, then next year, ripping off those emotional bandages as someone who was born addicted to heroin and both was an orphan by the age of 8, and um, had a family member try to kidnap me once, had another family member successfully kidnap me. um, Sexual abuse, emotional abuse, and neglect. I have PTSD. I have nightmares. I had an eating disorder in middle school and high school that no one knew about. Fun fact. I didn't even know it was disordered eating until um, college. And then I went to college and was having physical symptoms that that all actually went together in an autoimmune disorder looking back. But at the time, I didn't know what was happening in my body. And it was mental health symptoms, but also like hives and anxiety and acne and skin tags and weight gain and hair loss, and all of it looking back over the last decade, of physical symptoms. It's all one autoimmune disorder, but it stems from me ignoring all of the childhood abuse and trauma that I went through. So that's 2026. I get to look forward to that. New year, new, I don't know. I want to say new healing. I want to believe that it's healing, but the cool part that I like about my podcast is I'm not going to lie to you and say that this isn't going to be really challenging. I think that God heals others, but I've never experienced that. So I'm going to try. And that's all I can do, right? That's all we're doing as women of faith is trying with Jesus and hoping that it honors him and that it leads to our good and his glory. But I've never done this before, so I can't. I've done physical healing stuff before, but I've never even like approached the childhood trauma, so I don't even know where to begin. And I'm very scared. Let me clarify. I am very scared um, to dig deeper into that stuff. So, I don't know what you're doing in 2026. I don't know what. Oh, I just did. Oh, I didn't do my setting spray. Oh, 1 second. I put it away, but didn't use it. 1 second, people. Let it dry. Okay. Sorry, I was like, I just did my makeup and I'm gonna lose it because I'm gonna cry it off. I'm really scared for 2026. It is gonna be a difficult year of doing the hard stuff. I'm just gonna do the hard stuff. We are in a debt-free journey because of medical bills and moving across the country, and then we had moved across the state, and it just we don't stay still very well, which is fine. We just didn't always handle that in the most financially responsible way. So we are just digging ourselves out a little bit. Luckily, it's not much financial debt, so it shouldn't take long. But yeah, we're honoring God with our finances in 2026 through a debt-free journey that we started in November. I am um, trying to pursue a career in podcasting and writing in these gifts that I feel that the Lord has given me that I've never done before, and just kind of making it up as I go. I'm trying to pursue emotional health, which will, Lord willing, dramatically affect my physical health. Um, and a non-toxic lifestyle, like lifestyle changes and um, household cleaners and the types of fabrics we wear, and just there's so much that we are doing in my little family. um, Plus, I have two French bulldogs that just keep me on my toes. I love them so much. But if you have a French bulldog, you know that you did not get a French bulldog because they are the smartest breed. Girl. It's like a daily battle of me trying to keep these little things alive while they actively pursue death. Oh, they eat everything off the ground. Um, Especially outside. It is the dead of winter. We had a huge ice storm yesterday, and so it is frozen outside. It is freezing. It's like Iowa temperatures, which Vermont doesn't normally get. And my dogs found leaves at the bottom of the frozen snow and were eating them. And I'm like, those are like moldy old leaf. Like, what are you doing? So, anyway. And then they got mad at me, like, Mom, you're a bad mom. Why can't I eat the leaves? I'm like, oh my gosh. Try to keep yourselves alive. Um, just for a day. Try it. Um, but yeah, 2026 is going to be a lot. But also, 2025 was a lot. And we made it. And I would love for you, one of you, watch this whole video because it's really long. Um, if you've watched this whole video and you're following along with my journey, just continue to do so because I'm not going to do it in a fake way. I'm not going to say that pursuing an emotional healing journey with God as a Christian woman is going to be any easier than anyone else trying to pursue an emotional healing journey. I'm going to have to at some point, deal with a therapist and talk about things that are extremely painful and um on top of the physical symptoms that I'm still trying to navigate. And it, like, I'm never going to pretend on my podcast or on my YouTube channel or in my everyday life with my friends. I'm not the friend that's going to sugarcoat it. This is really hard. And I know sometimes when I hear Christian YouTubers or podcasters, they try to lean on the like, I call it like flowery, fluffy, like, yes, it's true. Like, God's with me. Like, He is with me on this journey. And, you know, He is, I am more than a conqueror in Christ. And, I have salvation. And that's all true and awesome. But it's also okay to stare at 2026 and say, wow, 2026, you seem right now like a beast, and you haven't even started yet. So this is going to be a year of a battle. And on my podcast, we talk openly and honestly about spiritual battles, about life battles, about doing the hard things. There's such a desire naturally in the human condition to do things the easy way. That's why we have, by the way, pesticides in our food and toxins in our makeup. When all of these things, like farming, unhealthy farming practices and um, really processed food, because we wanted the easy way. It takes a lot of time to do things organically and naturally, and it's a lot of work. And things are more expensive when it's natural and it's all organic ingredients, and it takes longer to create those products, and um, all of that is hard. And so, you know, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, they were choosing convenience and realizing that if you add chemicals to the farming process, and you get food that lasts longer, and you just the quick answer is never the right answer. Is I'm not going to go into like the toxicity of it, but it's what I believe is, you know, the enemy has convinced us that doing the short term is not going to have any side effects. And then we're all confused why there's a bunch of side effects to things. Well, shortcuts cut. Okay. And I don't want to live that way anymore. I would rather have a journey. I know it's not going to be 1 year and then I'm perfectly emotionally healed. It's fine. But I would rather have a journey of digging really deep into the really hard stuff for the sake of allowing healing in that area, because I just don't want to be in pain physically or emotionally. Um, and so we do the hard stuff, ladies. We do the hard stuff. The Proverbs 31 woman, it is not fully verified, but Proverbs 31 woman is said to be based on Ruth. Um, those two books of at that time would have been right next to each other, Proverbs and Ruth. Um, Ruth worked really hard. There are lots of women. I mean, Mary coming out of Christmas, Mary, the mother of Jesus, she did such a hard thing. I can't imagine having your first child be the son of God. Seems like a lot of pressure, and that's a lot. But she did it, and it was hard, and she leaned into God and kept moving forward. And that's what we're going to do. So join me on my podcast in 2026. Join me on YouTube. Hopefully I'm going to do vlogs, show you my dogs. I'm going to do a before and after of cleaning today, separate from this video. We're going to do the hard stuff. We're going to lean in. and it's going to be good, and it's going to be hard. It's both. And if you are a woman of God who likes being honest and, is not afraid of being told that, then let's do it. Because, yeah, doing the hard stuff is really good for you. So, speaking of that, I need to deep clean my house because, um, yeah, I'll explain in the next vlog that I start right now. But thank you for watching. I'm sorry this video is super, super freaking long. Um, I hope it blesses you. Go to my podcast. My podcast episodes are 20 minutes max. um, they're way shorter, and I hope they bless you as you and I grow as women who are resilient and strong and truthful and rely on God to do hard stuff in 2026 and for the rest of our lives, right? Um, I love you. Keep your faith fiery and your eyes fixed on Jesus.